Did you know you are being lied to when you buy produce from a supermarket? You might not be aware of this, but when you're being a good, loyal citizen to this country, buying either local or British produced foods, you're being sold foods that are not from this country. You might be intrigued to hear about this and think, how's that possible? As much as I am also intrigued about it, because any other business in the world would be held to account for fraud, for mis-selling products. You can go into a supermarket in this country, pick up items of food with a Union Jack on the packet, and the product inside could entirely legitimately not be from Britain. So how does that work? Well, supermarkets can import food from another country. A lot of what they do often is from the EU, so any of the EU countries. Bring it in and pack it, cut it, etc. And once that process has been done in the UK, it can then be labelled as British. And that could be true for meats, for fruits, for vegetables, and all other processed items. So when you're walking into a supermarket and you pick up your produce, you've got to be so careful because you are being scammed. So how do you stop this scam? First and foremost, we need to do something about this collectively as consumers. We need to start thinking about the labelling of items. I thought this to myself recently. How many of you out there are going out and legitimately in your minds buying British produce and not knowing this? How many sales are British farmers missing out on that we've already got from people doing the right thing? Is it 10%, 1%, 30%? I'm going to pluck a figure out of the air and say, let's say 15%. Imagine if 15% of food purchased in a supermarket where someone thinks it's from this country and that's the reason they're buying it is not from this country. British producers are losing 15% of sales they've already got. No wonder things are in a dire strait in farming. Obviously that figure was made up, plucked out of the air. I don't know the real numbers, but if this is happening all the time, I fear the numbers could be close. But whatever happens, the idea behind it is correct. The fact is that British producers are losing sales. So we need to massively change this. We need to push for change of regulation, because there's people out there watching this video who have jobs or their own businesses. And in your jobs and businesses, you have to walk the line, the letter of the law. We're not allowed in any other business to mislead people in the same way as how you're being misled with food labelling. I know it's prolific, and I know a lot of people do go into supermarkets and deliberately pick British produce. And if you're one of those people, you're being scammed. It's as simple as that. Sometimes if you look at the packet, the evidence will be on there, but the fact of the matter is, it's done in such a way that it sort of sifts out quite a few people who you might not be paying attention or have time to stop and read. It just looks British and you pop it in your basket, and that isn't your fault. It's the fault of the supermarkets. You are doing the right thing. You're doing your best. You're voting with your wallet, which is exactly what needs to be done. And so to change this, you need to be making sure that what you're buying is from the UK. It shouldn't be down to you to look through the fine print. It's not your fault. It's the fault of the supermarkets. And we need to make sure that this changes. So I have a little bit of a new mission about this, and we're going to get on to this because I think this could be overnight change the amount of produce that goes through supermarkets from this country. Imagine if how much of this is going on and suddenly they need to pull the finger out and label it correctly. Because if you're going into a supermarket to buy British produce, you're walking out without British produce. That means you're being scammed, and the farms in this country are not selling that product. Simple as that. It's got to be changed.